Dr. Umar went very viral a couple weeks ago for his take, which was basically Eminem can never be considered as one of the greats, or as the greatest rapper of all time, or presumably even he thinks that Eminem's value is kind of overstated within hip hop. Would you agree with that? And if Eminem's not the greatest rapper of all time, could the greatest rapper of all time be white?
As of course, I think now, as hip hop's evolved, yes, yes, he can be white now, because every hip hop is evolving, and all races are really, are putting in time into hip hop, and years gone by, and people are paying their dues, as I've called it. As far as Dr. Umar, I see where he's coming from, but then the argument is the same thing as like, okay, well, Dr. Naismith invented basketball, then how could Michael Jordan be the best at basketball? And the thing is, the argument is that hip hop has been so personal to black people's lives, other than it just being a music. And maybe that's where I think the line gets blurred. The lines are blurred because how we may look at hip hop, there's a certain white culture that might not look at it like that, as far as hip hop goes. So in those, it depends on what lens you have on. With Joe Buttons, I've never seen nobody like be a fan. Like, it's one thing about being a fan of somebody, but then it's another thing being on somebody's dick. It's like I can understand a fan, but then it's like when you on somebody's dick, that's a personal thing, you know what I'm saying? And to me, with him, and I think everybody can have their personal favorites, but it's like, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he don't cheer like that for nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he stick for Eminem, and it's not like he talks about him all the time, but when he does, he really like, you know what I'm saying? And to me, I don't know, man. I think Dr. Umar, like me, just gets tired of that shit. Like, bro, like, relax. Like, okay, he's good. Like, okay, this is 100 years later. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I can understand Dr. Umar gets frustrated as I do. You know what I'm saying? It's a frustrating thing. M can rap. I always say this. I don't like even doing top 5 Dead or Alive, because I believe hip hop is so great and people have their own style. It's hard to be like, oh, he's the greatest. Like, if you're listening to somebody's album and you love it, then you love that artist. If you love it, then you love that artist. And it doesn't have to be better and who's better and it doesn't have to be that way. Eminem raps a certain way. Like, he puts out a certain type of music. It's not like it
really sounds that much like almost anything else that's popular in hip hop.
It's really his own lane of music. You see what I'm saying? So, because that's not my lane, don't get mad at me. I think Eminem fans take it so personal that, well, he's the greatest. Okay, he's the greatest to you, and that's cool. To me, he's not. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. Like, Joe got the platform, and Joe, you got Dr. Umar up there. Like, my thing was Joe knew how to set off Dr. Umar. He set him off.
That's a good point.
He knew how to set Dr. Umar. Joe's brilliant. He knew how to do that. And believe me, Dr. Umar because the dude next to Dr. he got him good. I was like, oh, man.
Well, keep in mind with Joe, he's the same guy who basically fucked up his relationship with Eminem and Slaughterhouse by being brutally honest about Eminem.
And then did a whole diss record. Like, you know what I'm saying? I used to be like, come on, man. Like, listen, I swear to you, my thing wasn't about the music. It just wasn't. Like, I had my own personal issues on what I thought of hip hop, and that's probably where I made the mistakes by involving the source, because the source is supposed to be for the masses. And I've let my personal, and I've said that on Math, and that was a mistake. That was wrong. I wouldn't call it a mistake, but being business-wise, it was wrong, okay? You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to do that. That's not good business. And but I don't listen to his music anyways. And it's not just him. There's a lot of black artists that I don't listen to their music anyways. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all right. I know our situation's polarized because of the beef, because of us going back and forth, but that's what hip hop was anyways. Like, big deal. I made a few songs, he made a few songs, so what? I've never even met Eminem. I would love one day, I mean, before I go and before he go, for us to sit down and just have a conversation about hip hop and have a conversation about. I mean, that would be so epic to me because it's big with us. It's bigger than hip hop.
You have way more in common than you have that separates you.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. And again, a lot of times it be Eminem's fans that it don't even be him. It's his fans that make you just. Most of the shit that I've said on the internet is probably because of his fans, not even him. Because he don't even speak on shit. Ever. He barely does. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? People ask me, and then you know, I talk about it because I guess it's a part of my history. So I don't run away from it. But I try when I answer it, and every time I do an interview, I try to answer it in a way that people can understand, that they could get a different take on it. Like, I'm not racist. I've been a part of, I've grew up in a city that there was racist people in there, and I grew up under racist conditions, but I'm not racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, racist people don't, even when they kids, like, and this is true, like, you know, like my kids, you are with your kids, like when you look at your kids' friends, and you could see your kind of parents' virtues, unless you just live in a place where there's nothing. Like if your kids are playing with different kids, then, you know what I'm saying, then your parents are okay. I grew up in a place where kids were taught not to be around other kids and not to go to school with them and just be, you know, not be around. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that frustrates me more, that Eminem's fans would think that I'm racist because of our situation. And that's silly. It's never been. And it never has been. I never said that Eminem wasn't a great rapper. I think Eminem's a great rapper, but I don't listen to that type of music.
I feel like I hear a lot of people in this discourse saying that they think that Eminem is like the greatest rapper of all time, where I don't really believe that Eminem has had that big of a role in their music listening throughout their life. And I say that as myself as well. Eminem comes out in like 1999. I feel like I was kind of done checking for his albums by like 2006. And I'm saying that's a
good run.
He had a very significant career.
That's a good fucking run.
But let's be real. And I'm not ignoring the fact that he's been unbelievably successful.
It is the best run of any white artist.
For sure, yeah.
Rapper.
But to me, is he one of the most skilled lyricists of all time? For sure. Is he the greatest rapper of all time when I've got to put him up against Jay and Nas and you know, Drake and 50 and all these guys?
Is he the greatest to you or the greatest to everybody? You can't pick a greatest to everybody. Nobody can. That's why I said it's like what separates us from being robots in this 8 billion people is your ability to like what you like and be able to, and for people to respect that. We have to respect what each other likes personally first. I think with social media, everybody wants to be a part of the crew that likes the best so that they can look like they're part of the best crew. You got to get out of that. Be an individual first. Like who you like. Like who you like. It's okay. You know what I'm saying?
When I look back at that era and why I might have had negative feelings towards you, when I look back, it's like, it's such a clear-cut example of me blaming the messenger, because let's be real, those tapes, it was like the most obvious act of journalism ever to put that shit out there. Because it was,
we had to do it.
I grew up around all kinds of people that were making racist jokes and doing stuff that was objectively racist. That shit is some other shit. I ain't never seen anything like that in my whole life from white boys that are associated with hip hop or whatever. Like, that shit needed to have attention called to it. And the fact that I resented you for bringing it to the table seems kind of ridiculous to me as an adult.
Well, but imagine this though. Imagine him getting away with it.
Right.
Now, that's what I'm saying. Imagine that. So you know his influence and his power and his, look at the same thing with R. Kelly. R. Kelly had already the girl, people seen the tapes, and people still fucking with R. Kelly. So when people's talent transcends kind of like what they do and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're dope at what you do, motherfucker give you. You know what I'm saying? Now you can't be running around fucking with kids and everything. You know what I'm saying? But they, you know, people were still listening to R. Kelly heavy after EP. It wasn't until this shit happened, and even still now, not before, but even when R. Kelly did that, people was still playing the shit out of his shit.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like, you know, and then you got to understand this. Look, white people wasn't going to stop playing him because of that.
Right. Oh yeah,
White
I shot him that bail so instantly back then.
They wasn't going to be like, oh shit, he's making some racist shit. We're going to stop playing him. White people was going to keep playing with him, and black people didn't stop playing him either. Like none of that. If I don't know if the internet was out, could have made a difference, but we didn't go out looking for that tape. People would understand those guys, and they were all white. There was 3 white guys in my office. It was at Dave's office, and I was like, you look, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it to be like, damn, y'all are really selling your man out, huh? I could not fucking believe it.